What is going on, race fans? My name is Jared Haas, and welcome back into another edition of NASCAR Mailbox. This week, we're going to look back at the Texas two-step that was Texas Motor Speedway to answer your questions after the Cup Series race. And now this first question comes from Austin Higgins, WT5V. They ask, Jimmie Johnson has the most playoff wins in NASCAR with 28. Kevin Harvick is next closest with 16. With him retiring, who do you think will be the first to break it or get close to the record? Now, man, Jimmie Johnson's playoff runs is definitely for the record books. There's a reason why he almost was unanimously a first-round ballot Hall of Famer. I think a few votes short. But Jimmie Johnson scoring 28 wins in the playoffs is an incredible feat. That's basically 3 consecutive years of playoffs of just Jimmie Johnson winning. So he made mention of some of the other drivers that are closest: Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. I'm going to look at a couple ways, more of the longevity game and more of taking it to the moon, who can reel off a lot of quick wins. The longevity game is Joey Logano. He is tied with Denny Hamlin for wins in the playoffs with 12 apiece, but Logano is 9 years younger than Denny Hamlin, so he has time. He has the longevity of, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick. He's got at least 10 to 12 years to reel off those playoff wins, which even if he just did a playoff win a year would still fall short. But if he had a couple seasons where he was on fire, had 3 or 4 races that he won in the playoffs, keeping up with the consistent standards, there could be a shot, but I don't think it's going to be enough to catch Jimmie Johnson's 28 wins. But Logano had time on his side, already accruing 12 wins, and he's basically halfway through his career. But I'm looking at the other Hendrick Motorsports drivers to kind of shoot up quickly and score off those playoff runs. I'm looking at Kyle Larson. He almost had one at Texas Motor Speedway the previous week. In 2021, with his championship season, he was reeling them off week after week. And even with Chase Elliott, I think the maturity process, he is 27. There's only 6 wins there. He can definitely achieve some greatness in the postseason. Hendrick Motorsports is no laughing matter, and Chase Elliott is now the best of the rest, up to 17th in the playoff standings. So I think the longevity game is going to go to Logano. I don't think either Logano or the people that could reel off a bunch of wins like Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson are going to touch Jimmie Johnson's record. And now this next question comes from RLH4331. They say, very non-competitive one-lane race until the final caution, and I'm a die-hard fan. NASCAR had to make improvements to this car to improve passing, or the ratings will continue to suffer the consequences. I'm going to take this as a twofold. I'm going to first start with the ratings type of aspect. The issue of, obviously, NASCAR is dealing with the NFL season. NFL has just been climbing more and more fans every year. You obviously have Taylor Swift showing up to an NFL game, and that's garnering goo goo gaga attention. But, it's the part of the playoffs where it's not really as exciting as, the initial start of the season for the NFL, where teams are hopeful that it's going to happen. You don't see this coming into later on, into November when NASCAR starts to uptick. It's seeing that downtick for the reason that, it's the start of the NFL season, start of college football. There's a lot of hopeful people hoping to see that their team is going to do it this year. And by the time it brings into late October, November, they're more out of it, and they'll go back to racing where, the championship's more or less to be decided. I'm more the proponent that these playoff structures are a little bit too long. We need to cut around on this because it just seems too drawn out. Even if you look at the Truck Series, they've already locked in Corey Heim in the championship 4, and their playoffs started way back in the summer. So I think that could be improved on to help the rating cause, building more of events style like the Southern 500 to draw more people in. But I want to talk also the aspect of the car and the track. The racing wasn't well either. It wasn't even well with the previous generation car. It's the setup of the track with the different banking seemed like it's a lot flatter Kentucky Speedway. It's not the issue with the car. We saw at Kansas Speedway, great example of a 1.5 miles, and it's interesting that Texas Motor Speedway was trying to chase this, trying to be this unique track when it was in that lull with the previous generation car of not producing great racing at these 1.5 mile tracks. And now that they've already committed this and repaved the track in 2017, they're more or less stuck with it. And I've been a proponent of just making it a oval, making Charlotte go back to an oval and make this the road course and draw a different audience to that. So I don't think it's necessarily the car that is the issue with this race. It is more the track. Thank you very much for watching. As always, like and subscribe. That really helps out that channel a lot there. I'm Jared Haas for NASCAR Mailbox. Tune in next week to catch next week's Mailbox questions. And as always, have a great race weekend.
This is Timmy Hill, driver of the 56 Toyota. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also check out one of those videos beside me and visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.